Hey everyone, welcome back to our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. It's day 8, and we in the club. Who's here with me? Let me know in the chat. Hello, hello. Ateep says, I can't wait for the release of Kathleen's album. We're gonna release it today by the end of the stream. We just gotta make the cover art still. What's up, Miles? How you doing? Turn up. What's up, Michael? How you doing? Whoa, chat's going crazy. Hello, hello. So if you are new to the Daily Creative Challenge, I'll just introduce it really quickly so you know what's up and why you should join us. Jeremy Ola from St. Louis. Ola, thanks for joining. Daily Creative Challenge is basically a way for you to get started in Photoshop or other apps, but we're focusing on Photoshop this week. Basically from the start. So if you are a newbie, or maybe you know a little bit but want to sharpen your skills, or you're a pro and you just want to see what you can make, this is the perfect challenge for you. This is day 8 and tomorrow's the last day, which is crazy. But you will have the weekend to kind of finish up your projects, and if you have 7 out of the 9 days completed, you have successfully completed the challenge. I know, Lee, it's sad. This has gone by quickly. Do you agree, chat? Has it been a quick thing for you? What's up, Ashi? So we do want to be chatting with you while we're working on this challenge, and we want to be able to share feedback with you. So if you want to join us on Slack, bit.ly/daily/slack is the best way to hang out with us. Slack is like a giant community message board where you can share your work in progress. It's kind of like Dribble in that way, or Behance stories, and we can give you feedback. So I'll show you really quick what that might look like for you. Here is our Slack. You notice there's a couple different channels over here. I'm going to click on Get Feedback and see what people have been posting. Let's see, Ben says Post Malone is my favorite artist, so I went with him. This is his work in progress so far. So we can give him feedback, like I really like the color eyes that he's going with, the crop is nice, etc., etc. Here's Robbie's. Oh yeah, this is slick and fun. Nice. Ben says that looks great, love the colors. So yeah, as you're working, you can be posting your work, getting awesome feedback from other awesome creatives, and building your creative network. Check this out. We have an introductions channel where people can post who they are, what they're about, what they're hoping to achieve by the end of this challenge. So join us on Slack. bit.ly/daily/slack is the link to check that out, and I want to see what you can make. Mel says I'm a drummer in a local band? No way. That's amazing. Shout outs to Mel. All right, so like I said, we are going to be working on a album cover today. And I have a template already picked out. And we've talked about templates before. We talked about the coffee shop template, or the coffee cup. And I'm just going to reiterate how easy it is to find these things. So if you go to File, New in Photoshop, or if you just open Photoshop up from the get-go, you'll see at the top, there are a bunch of these tabs up here: art and illustration, print, web. If you click through them, it will give you blank document presets, so that's just the sizing and the settings for the document, but you'll also see down here the magic word, templates. Super easy. Look through these. This is actually the one that I'm going to be using today, and you'll notice right here, another magic word, free. You can download this for free if you want to play with it with me. So I've already downloaded it, and if you want to explore more, you can go to print. You can check these out. You can make enamel pins. That's really hot right now. Check that out. Mugs. We did the coffee cup the other day. And t-shirts, all kinds of good stuff. And another way that you can search for them, say I want a mock-up of maybe something on a window. If I search it down here, click go, it will take me to Adobe Stock with that search for templates. And I have all of these mock-ups to choose from. They're amazing, they're layered, it'll make your work look so nice in context. Cool, so chat, have you used mock-ups or templates before? Did you join us for the coffee cup challenge? These look so cool, these gold foil ones. Wow. So find some templates. You can use the free one that I'm using. It's in the Photo tab, Textured Geometric Masks, and it will download when you click on it and go to download over here, and it will save it as a PSDT file. At least that's what it did for me. And that might be kind of confusing because you'll double click it and nothing will happen. It will say, what program do I use? No worries, just grab your file and drag it down to your Photoshop icon and open it that way. And it will open right up for you. Cool. Oh, Anita says, I've only ever found templates on Creative Market, but it's nice to know where I can find them through Adobe. Yes. Stock is awesome. Okay, so are we ready? Do we have our templates open? If you're watching the replay, get that template open for show. So we have this template. I already have it cropped down to a square, like an album. And I want to add an awesome photograph to this mask right here. You'll see at the bottom of the layers under all of these different mask shapes, see I'm turning them on and off, a layer that says your photo here. If you double click on the gray square, it'll take you to this and it will let you drag a photo in and I'll show you what happens. I need my libraries panel because that's where I have all my photos saved in my Creative Cloud libraries, and I don't see it over here like I usually do. A really easy way to find the things that might have disappeared from your workspace is to go up to Window and find the thing that you need. For my example, libraries. And you can always also reset your workspace. So if you go over to the right here, you'll have your little workspace icon. That's what this is. Click it. And if I choose Essentials, my libraries reappear. Amazing. All right. Everybody with me? Cool. So I have a couple images that I've downloaded from the internet. That good old internet. I'm going to drag it in. Awesome. We used some of these during the Georgia O'Keeffe day. On the first day, we made phone backgrounds with some stock images. So it's really nice to build a library of images that you find or from Adobe stock. And you can have them all just to plug and play and grab from the side. I'm just going to rotate it, hold Shift and drag to fill up my entire workspace just to make sure everything is covered. I'm going to press Enter to commit to my changes, and watch this. I'm going to do Command S to save. When I do that, my template is updated. Pretty cool. Ooh, Nigel, you also like the Essentials workflow or workspace? Me too, for sure. Okay, so we have a cool background. This looks like a nice kind of modern, minimalistic album cover already. And let's play with some of these masks now. If I turn it off, turn it back on, there's tons to choose from. Let's just go through a couple. Let me know, chat, if one pops up that you really like. We got a diamond, we have some circles, Illuminati pyramid, kind of mandala shape. This is interesting. It's almost like honeycomb-esque texture. Very nice. I like it. Cool, so let's start with this. At the top, I'm going to make a rectangle using our shapes, our rectangle tool. We've used this in pretty much every day's challenge so far, so you should be pretty familiar with it so far, but if you're not, it'll be here. And if you don't see a rectangle, say you see the rounded rectangle, just do Shift U, Shift U, Shift plus U to cycle through all of the shape options. All right, I'm gonna click and drag a rectangle across the middle of this as I design this album cover. Cool, so now it's kind of cut in half. I like that. It makes nice, interesting two sides there. You like the honeycomb one? Perfect, Nigel. Me too. Alrighty, and let's add the name of our album. Now I'm thinking it might be cool if we name this album after us. Let's name this album The Daily Creative, because that's what we all are. We're here, we're working on our skills every single day. Here we go. I'm changing the typeface just by going over to my properties panel, picking one of our beautiful Bauhaus typefaces, and here I'm just going to play with the sizing so it fits well. Using my slider, dragging to the right to increase it so it fits nicely inside the shape. Oops. Drag it back up. Where'd you go? Oh, Pablo, thanks. I'm so glad you all joined me for these challenges where we can learn together. I definitely learn a lot too. All right, so this is kind of the best way that this typeface is going to fit within this shape, but this rectangle is a little too tall. There's a little bit too much space on the top and bottom, I feel like, personally. So I'm gonna go back to my rectangle layer. I'm just selecting it over here, make sure it's highlighted. I'm gonna do Command T to make my handles and my corners appear so that I can change the side. See, they appear here. I'm gonna grab the top, hold Option, and it's going to shrink the top and the bottom at the same time. It's pretty magical. All right, now I'm going to make sure that my rectangle is selected and also shift click Daily Creative so that my text and my rectangle are selected. And I'm just gonna bump this up and down until I really like the shape. Perfect, that feels a little more balanced to me. What's up, Rogerio? How you doing? Kevin, what music genre is this? I'd say maybe like chill hop. Is that correct? I can't hear it. I'm just guessing. Cool, so we have our name. Now let's name the actual album. So Daily Creative is the artist name, that's us. And this album, what do you think it's gonna be called? I have an idea. Let's see if I surprise you. The album is gonna be called 8008. Nice and simple, because this is the 8th day of our challenge. Command T is also a nice way to increase or decrease the size of your typeface. Although it's not very precise, you end up with kind of strange typeface sizes. So 123.16 pixels. It's kind of strange, but it works for us. We're not going to be sending these specs to anyone else. It's all visual. All right, and I'm going to take it a step further and just highlight the 8 and maybe increase the size just a bit to fit nicely into this negative space. You think my voice is similar to Lena Dunham's? Interesting. Okay, here we go. All right, I like this. Super simple. What do you think? I like it. I think it'll work for our intended audience. Okay, so let's check out some of the other masks because I like 8, but we didn't explore everything. Group the layer, it's a great question, or a great point. So let's try out 9 again. Interesting. Don't super love it with this rectangle. That's kind of cool. Kind of overlaps here. That's interesting. You kind of stumble across these happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say. I don't really like the sphere because the rectangle doesn't wrap around it. I think I liked 7. That's cool. It has a similar silhouette, but it's a little less busy. And it has these nice shapes as well right here. Symmetrical, nice on the eyes. Cool. So I like 7, but I still like 8 a little bit. So I'm just going to duplicate my artboard. This is something relatively new you can do in Photoshop. I'm going to collapse my artboard. I'm going to drag it down to new. That will duplicate it. Boom. Check that out. And you'll notice in my copy, it still has all the same layers. So I can turn off 8, turn 7 on, and we're in business. Always group your layers and name them so that they make sense. Niels, that's a great point. And we were just talking with the Hood sisters about keeping your files organized, especially when you're going to be handing them off to clients. There's nothing worse than confusing someone before they even get into your work. Nigel says, wow, this is a really effective progress on a simple idea. Pretty cool. I'm glad you think so. This is super simple. I just downloaded a template, added a shape and some text. And this looks like something that you could hang on your wall. Yeah, Rogerio, so this is the artboard. New options in Photoshop CC. And Emerson, if you have questions about anything specific I've said, please let me know, but you can always rewind the tape or watch the replay when we're done in about 10 minutes. Okay, so I like 7, and let's even try another option. I'm gonna collapse it, drag it down, make another, and let's rename these bad boys. Easy way to do it is just to go down here and double click on your artboard and rename. So this is Mask 8. Or if you have your Move tool selected, so that's right here, you can tap V, that is the hotkey, and you go to your artboard title here. You can edit it that way as well. Let's just do it this way. This is Mask 7 and Mask 5, because that is the one I'm going to turn on for this. Cool. So I want to ask you all, do you have a preference for these 3? We'll call this one 1, 2, and 3. What do you think? What do you prefer? This one has this nice kind of cube in the background, although it creates maybe a little bit of a strange triangle pie shape here. This one's super symmetrical. I think it's my favorite, but then this one's probably the most visually interesting. All right, Michael says 3, Paula says 3, Sam says I love 1, Marcello loves 8, so I'm guessing number 1. They're all pretty great. Thanks, Anita. That's nice. Kevin says 2. It's all over the place. I don't think I can make a definitive decision. What do you think in the audience, in this room? Michael liked 3, I think. Pick number 3, my lord. Lee likes 1. Oh, I love that Shrek reference, Robbie. That's great. Okay, so I'm not gonna pick. I'm gonna export them all because it's really easy to do. I'm going to collapse all of my layers. I'm gonna highlight them all. Right click. Let's do export as. Don't worry, we're not done playing yet. This is kind of like the first round of revisions. This is a great way that you can show different iterations to your art director or to your client, saying, I worked on these 3 things. What do you think? Pick 1, 2, or 3. Although you don't want to overwhelm them. So you can get a little bit artboard happy. You can just keep making new ones, but at some point you might need to pare it down and just offer up a couple to your final client. It's thinking. These files are pretty big. And we can always right click and just do a quick export as PNG. That will make them a lot smaller. We'll see if it works. Export them all and share the PDF with us mere mortals. Nigel, no, you can always work on these too. Let's just do 1. This is the beautiful side of technology where things take a long time and they think for a while. Nigel, you think 1? Okay, for all intents and purposes, we're just going to take screenshots of these bad boys so that we can upload them onto Behance so I can show you that process. Because we don't have time for this. I got things I need to show you. If you're on a Mac, I'm just doing Shift, Command, and 4, I believe, will allow you to take these screenshots, drag out a little square, and if you are just sharing your quick mock-ups or proofs, this can also work. There's always quick and dirty kind of workarounds for these kind of things. When your software isn't working for you, you've got to make it work for you. Ain't nobody got time for that. Totally reverb mic. She's my spirit animal. Yeah, time is money, Niels. Nothing like exporting GIFs in Photoshop, totally. Especially when they're above like 400 pixels. Yikes. All right, and when you do that, when we go to our desktop, they'll just be sent there. So we got these 3. Perf. Now let's even try a different photo because we have these cool kind of galactic feels. This might be some cool techno or chill hop or atmospheric, instrumental. But let's do something that might be a little bit more like electric folk. So I'm going to double click into my smart layer here. And I have another image in my library. It is this one. Check out how sick this image is. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't even look real. So I'm going to flip it upside down. And then I'm going to transform it by going to Layer, Transform, if I can find it. or no, edit transform, and flip horizontal. Cool. So notice if I go back to my file, it still has the stars, the cosmos. If I go back here and do Command S or save it, it will update Space Fangs. Check that out, isn't that cool? So I want to change the positioning a bit. So grab this, move it up, maybe even size it up a bit. Okay, Command S. We'll go back. Move it up just a little more. I really want this mouth to be apparent. Save it. Cool. Isn't that sweet? So what kind of music do you think this would be? Like I said, electric folk. It could be kind of like Tame Impala kind of vibes. Alrighty, and let's zoom on in and get our screenshots going of these bad boys, since we know export is just not being our friend right now. Galactic Rock? Heck yes. In chat, let me know if this is your first time tuning in for our daily creative challenge streams. We've had them every day since last Tuesday. So this week it's been really nice because they've been sandwiched in between our graphic design streams. We had Nick starting out the day with Paul, and then the Hood Sisters with myself. We're gonna finish out the day with Chris and Emily and Paul again, and that's it for Adobe Live for this week. But don't worry, we will be back next week. Same time, same place. Also with the XD Daily Creative Challenge. Taking my screenshots. Is anyone participating in the XD Challenge as well? Are you doubling up? That's impressive if you're doing so. I know Eric was saying that he had to drop off the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge so he could focus on the XD. Totally fair, although Eric, I think that you could do it all. I believe in you. Yeah, Mark, the export was just taking too long. And since time is money, we're working around things today. Okay, so we have everything exported now. Let's move to Behance. So this is another way that we love to kind of help you out and see your work during this challenge. The first way is with our Slack channel. That's how you find out about the challenges and chat with us. The second way is this live show, which happens, the last one is tomorrow, but we have 9 previous ones that you could watch on replay if you're interested. And then the third way is uploading to Behance and sharing your work there so you can share it with the wider community, get appreciations, get comments, get feedback, and maybe even get a job. There's a lot of people trolling Behance for possible candidates for work, so keep that in mind. Alrighty, so let's go to my portfolio. You see my Daily Creative Challenge is right here. And you'll notice that I only have one Daily Creative Challenge project. I'm not making a new one for every day. That would be so many projects with only one image in each. So I'm just adding them all to one. And that way, if someone wants to check it all out at once, this is one challenge. So let's tell the entire story in its entirety in one project. So I'm just gonna click this pencil icon, click edit. It'll take me into our project editor. It's super sleek, super easy. Yeah, Nigel, next week, that is the XD Daily Creative Challenge. When do I get to take a break? Never. Nigel, stay a student forever. We're gonna scroll down all the way. You guys remember this? Remember the day we made this abomination? I'll never forget. We made our social media avatars, our coffee cup, and our super cute birthday cards yesterday, one for Sam and one for Jan Eric. And let's add today's work. We're gonna use our photo grid tool. That's the best way to kind of show multiple images at once. Hey James, thanks for hanging out. Awesome. So I'm gonna go to upload files. I'm gonna go to my desktop. That's where my screenshots were. I'm going to choose my 3 star friends. Actually, let's do them all. Tiger friends and star friends. I think I was right in the first place. We're going to get rid of the tigers, let the stars be on their own, and then add another with just the tigers. Boom, 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 upload. We'll just add the text. Day 8, which is incredible. Thanks for sticking with me this long. Album cover. Save. Perfect. And the last thing I will note before I leave you is that you need to make sure in your settings tab, in your discoverability area, make sure your keyword is PS Daily Challenge. That's the way that we're going to be able to find your work. It's like a hashtag. That's how you can search for others' works. So save. We'll check out my portfolio, and then I will leave you for Emily and Chris and Paul. All right, let's scroll all the way down very quickly. Look at all this beautiful work. Amazing. All right, everyone, so we'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time to finish out our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And until then, I will leave you with Chris and Paul and Emily to finish out some graphic design goodness. So stick around. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Bye, y'all.